Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It is episode number 14 of Breakfast with
Yes.
Ben and Cheryl. How are we doing? Your weekly food for thought.
Little change of venue here. Doing to be another set of troubleshooting things. Like, why do we look so stretched on the screen right now? Don't know.
YouTube. But we had some technical difficulties last week. I think we ran into some audio issues, and so we wanted to make sure.
Right. Our office got zapped by lightning last week, the day before the show. So that's why there's some audio issues on the last episode. We re-recorded the episode 1 before we knew that there were audio issues, and so I don't know. We're gonna have to figure all that stuff out. But see, that's the whole.
It's a
Every
process.
day is a struggle.
There's definitely waiting to perfect the process.
Yeah.
Here we are, 14 episodes in, but a little change of venue and hopefully a little bit more of a dedicated space to make this happen.
Yes.
So,
good morning to Realty Masters of Florida.
Great to see you, always, always. But we're on goals.
We are on goals.
We're working through.
Right in the middle of it.
We're on part 3 of we're on putting goals on paper.
Yes, paper is so important.
So we're going to start this week's episode with our quote, "Dreams can inspire you, goals can change your life." And that's another phrase that I've heard is, dreams are goals that are simply not written down.
Right.
And so you got to have that accountable. And then, like you said before, there's something about writing it down and putting it on paper that makes you stick to it, and it happened.
Yeah. I always used to plan goals, and before I would write them down, I would never attain them. When I first started writing down my goals, I would just write down, okay, example, I want to make $50,000 this year. I would just write $50,000 on a piece of paper. That was it. No plan, no nothing. I just basically wrote down my wish on a piece of paper with no action plan. However, that still, even though I just wrote it down and I saw it, it made me, I don't know.
Jody Brown noticed her new set. Sorry.
Made me think about it more, I suppose, but I attained it. I reached it. And when I wrote down that number, I was like, what is this? That's a scary number. I've never made that much money before. But when you attain it and you write it down, you're just like, maybe there's something to it. Then the next year I wrote down, I was with my mentor then and helped me work out all the action steps and what to take and to review and check-ins and those kind of things. And that really helped. And yeah, and that helped, and I've attained those, and now I want to take it a step further. Everything's always an improvement. So, yes.
But the thing that caught me about that, I mean, it's always awesome, when you have a goal, but at least you started with you were precise. You knew you wanted to hit a number. You don't like, I just want to be successful.
Yeah.
Okay, bring successes. No, but you got to be precise. And so a system that we use is paper goals.
Yes. Well, we came up with.
Yes. Yeah. But PAPER, and you want to go ahead and run through them?
We got to go through them.
Yeah,
we'll go through them. The first P, that is the most important. You have to have a deadline. You have to make it very detailed. I use this as a goal that I tried to set this year and did not attain it, so now I'm just making it a little bit more detailed. So I wanted to learn how to garden, and I did nothing for it this year. So I made my goal very precise. I want to be able to have a garden that's flourishing, to be able to eat a salad that's made up of mixed greens, tomatoes, radishes, cucumbers by September of 2017. And that is a very, very specific goal. It lets me know what my measurables are, and it allows me to know what I can, tangibly know when I've attained this goal. When am I going to know that I'm successful at gardening?
Yeah, you can call yourself a gardener at that
Yeah.
point. And so you've got your P, you've got your precision, and then you've got A for action.
Yes.
So what are those things that you need to do
Yes.
to become a gardener? Does that mean going to a gardening class at one of these community gardens, or finding a fellow green thumb that could be a mentor that you could help out, volunteering at the community gardens? What are those actions? Finding a space in the backyard that you can have that area, learning when to plant your crops.
Yes.
But you have to go through those actions, and there's going to be stuff that's going to be unexpected. It doesn't need to be, well, I can't proceed with this goal because I don't know all the actions.
Right.
You've got to there's some stuff coming up, but at least be prepared mentally for that.
And that's where we get into the next P, where it's pain points.
Pain points.
Oh man, we never want to talk about the negative stuff.
No, it's easier.
But acknowledge the pain points. Acknowledge that you're a procrastinator. Acknowledge that you don't know anything about the soil or the garden. Like, my yard is sand. What am I going to grow in sand? And that's a pain point. Like, all those are obstacles, and they hold me back. Like, oh, I have to learn this. I have to do this. Oh man, like, that's just too much. Oh, I know I'm a procrastinator. Oh, I know I'm an introvert. I have to go interact with people and go and learn stuff. And these are all pain points that I write down, and I can acknowledge logically, no, and those are obstacles, potential obstacles. Or they don't have to be all mental type. It could be money or an actual location, those kind of things.
Well, and Jody Brown brings up a very good point of pain is a great motivator. It is. I don't think that you need to be naive to the things that are going to happen. We so often plan for idealism and we don't live within realism.
Right.
Stuff is going to happen. The car is going to break down.
Yes.
But I think it's also very important that you don't live in that mindset of always being afraid of the pain points, or always driven by fear, the death is at my back kind of thing,
Right.
Because I think that just kind of turns it towards a little bit more of a negative outlook. That's
Yes.
something I've kind of struggled with, if you will, is trying to, what are the positives that I'm going to see out of this? And that actually brings us to the E.
Yes.
Expectations. I believe that someone will or should achieve something. So write down what you expect you'll be able to accomplish.
Right.
And so within that, are you putting like at 6 months I'd like to be here?
No, you're describing who you expect to be at that deadline.
Okay.
So by September, I expect to be a little self-gardener who's self-sustaining. I've learned a skill where I can grow my own food, become healthier by doing so, and I have more money because I don't have to spend the extra dollars at the store for buying organic and locally grown organic food.
And you're gonna, plus the people that you're gonna meet once you're
Yes.
involved in the community garden. So it's those kind of,
right.
Yeah.
Those are my expectations come September.
And so to bring it full circle and to close it out with R.
Right. The R is the review. Oh, you have to review them often. That's the thing.
And well, I mean, and not to throw you under the bus, but here you are. You wanted that as a goal and it didn't happen.
No.
And it's like, okay, so I have to review, what did I not do?
Right.
I didn't do the research. I didn't reach out to my friends at the community
Yeah.
garden. So, and I'm not saying you didn't do all of those things, but how did it go?
Right. Yeah, and it's not just reviewing it at the end though.
Yes.
It's I like to review things in quarters. So whatever that, if it's a 9-month time period, pick that spot right in the middle and then break those halves in half. So you have quarters for your time period.
Yeah.
And just to check in and to see if your expectation, if you're still going to meet your expectation, work your way back up. Are you going to, that expectation still viable? Is that still good? Or are you seeing some delay? Are you hitting some pain points? And the pain points, are they the ones that you expected to feel and come up with? Or are you having unexpected pain points pop up? And if they're unexpected, write them down. Because you write them down, you're starting to acknowledge them, and then you can start dealing with them, and you're like, okay, I got this. And if you need to readjust, then you readjust. But you have to keep up and just continually deal with those pain points and make sure that you're going to match your expectations in the end to successfully reach your goal.
It's it's super important to put those goals down, and it's kind of tough to go back and be like, man, not
Where
to
did it go wrong?
Yeah, and not to go into that negative side of not start beating yourself up, but okay, what are those steps that I can do? It just pops up. Caterpillars.
Yes.
See? And
See?
How? Boom. And resources.
Yes.
Using resources, that's how you find out about those pain points. And I'm sure you're like, okay, now I know what that's expected.
Pests.
So, there we go. Thank you for the tip, Realty Masters.
Yes. But yes, you have to review them. And then that way, if you fail to not reach the goal, you have proof and research that you can go back and see what went wrong. And when you come across a point in your life to where you're ready to tackle that goal again, which is totally possible. I think I've tried goals several times over, and it just goes. I can go back and to review those sheets, those papers that I've written all my reviews on and my thoughts at that time, because don't trust your memory. Your memory plays tricks on you. Go and read your own words and see what happened last time.
Well, I like what you wrote down here. Writing your goals using paper will help you stay on course and focus. Follow one course until success.
Yes.
And it's very true. When you have those big rocks that we've talked about and you've got them written down, it's a lot easier to focus.
Yes.
Write it down, make it happen. So that is the system that we've started to implement here, and I think it's really good. And
yes.
I've been a fan. And we've got January's coming up. It's always time for new goals, it seems. But being realistic and putting them down, it definitely helps.
Yes, and that works for business too.
Absolutely. So, on to
next week's the fourth installment is going to be, where is it? Oh, create an action plan.
Action plans. I'm excited about that.
Yes, that way we'll work through how, we say create action. There's a system to it, and that's just like, oh, well, I have to do all these things. Well, how do you plan for all those things? Because that can be very overwhelming in itself.
So that will be next week's episode.
Yes.
Episode 15?
Episode 15.
Awesome.
Well, so now we come into the after show part.
After show, and this is, we're following a new format here. We're trying to stay a little bit more scripted, if you will, in terms of our outline of our show. Yes. And so the after show is where Cheryl and I talk about our wins and losses for the week. So some of the struggles that we've had and maybe some of the resolutions. This is where we also share some of the resources that we've picked up throughout the week, whether that's software, apps, books, podcasts. What are we trying to get our ears on? Yes. And we want to hear from you guys too. So put those in the comments when we get to that part. What are you listening to? What do you find that motivates you?
Yes, that would be great.
Go ahead. What was your takeaway? Like your big win this week?
Oh, just hanging out with everyone. That was so much fun. There were so many holiday parties and networking events, and we got to have game night with friends, and
that was fun.
It was just a really great week of connecting with the people that I care about most.
Awesome. I mean, and that's really what the holiday season's about.
Yeah.
You know, it's just being able to take that downtime. You know, and that's something I'm not a huge fan of usually, but it's nice to be able to just spend that time with friends and family.
Yeah, I got to see a lot of people, so that was cool.
Same deal. I mean, I definitely enjoyed the networking events, but I had a really great opportunity to work along a bunch of colleagues in our field. A big community over collaboration, or a
competition.
Community over competition. It's very much we could be competitors, but it's a bunch of fun people coming together to make a group project. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to come out.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun to see. We were just talking. He was talking to one of our friends yesterday, and it's how we're friends, like really good friends with competitors, if you will. You know, we do the same thing. We work with the same types of industries and whatnot, and we're great friends, and we all work together and we collaborate, and it's amazing. And there's no drama. So our struggles this week. Lightning.
Yep.
Big struggle.
That was last week, end of last week. No, it was
beginning of last week is when it happened.
Oh yeah. But that was fun, but that's just doing that research now, you know, and getting to that point, making sure that everything's backed up and fried the router, so we had to scramble and go pick one up morning of. I think that was morning of last week's show.
Yes.
So it was
cords and what a crazy week.
Yeah, and then I've been struggling with the software automation side of it, trying to find. It seems that like every app I use does 85% of what I need it to do. Like it's just customizable enough where I'm like, oh, it'd be really we don't have that feature. And so I've been just trying to. I feel like I'm always in this trial hell, if you will. Like always just 14 days. I live my life 14 days at a time. You know, just move. But that's been my struggle. So I'm trying a new CRM called Insightly. It's it tracks emails, you can do calendars, follow up with contacts. So I'm going to see how that implements, and it seems like it's got a lot of integrations as well.
Cool. Resources this week. We've been really digging how I built this podcast with NPR.
That's fantastic.
They interview like the founder of Spanx, Mark Cuban. Patagonia was the latest one. Amazing.
That was really good.
They're just really Airbnb. That's a great one.
Instagram. I mean,
they're also good.
Because the thing I took away from that, and I know I'll let you finish up with that, is how I built this is every business is different. You know, you look at these big corporate machines and they're not like that at all. They are all just very humble beginnings, you know, a community within their own business, and it's really everyone is different enough. You know, they have their own thing. They're really good listens. They're only half an hour long. Yes. So you know,
everywhere in Pensacola it takes half an hour.
Anywhere we go, it's half an hour. So. But Cheryl really enjoyed the Mark Cuban.
Yes, I did. Just because. But they're all good because they all start from very humble beginnings. It's just to hear how big these companies are, to know how big these companies are, worth billions of dollars, and to hear how just 10 years ago they started out with, $100 in the bank and hustling, I mean, it is so inspiring, inspirational, and if they can do it, anyone can do it. We all have the power. It's just all the stuff inside that keeps us holding back.
That's right. So
pretty good stuff.
How I built this, find it on, your whatever you use to find podcasts, it's Apple, free. iPhone.
Podcasts are free.
Great resources, guys. Mm-hmm. definitely take advantage of that. So remember, next week we will be back at Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central Time. Episode 15, creating an action plan for our goals.
Yes. Maybe not be so boxy this time.
Nah, we'll be boxy. You want to close us out with our quote?
Yeah. Dreams can inspire you, and goals can change your life.
You guys have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for joining us. We always love to hear any comments, questions below. You can always shoot us a message as well. Make sure you visit us at MurphyWerx.com and Facebook, YouTube, all of that fantastic
stuff. We're on
stuff.
all the different social channels.
We really enjoy this time with you guys, and we will see you next week for episode 15.
Yes.
All right. Have a great week, guys.
Bye.